Hello YouTube, welcome to RV Daydream. We're back out in the camper, although we're in our driveway. You can see the outhouse out there maybe? Isn't that funny? Yeah, we have an outhouse. I haven't opened it up forever. It's not actually on our property, but it used to be the community outhouse. So basically what we're doing in the driveway today is talking to you about a product that was sent to me at no charge. I want to say that right off the bat, but with no promise of great review. But this company, I've been doing review of their product now for a little while, and every single piece they send me seems to be pretty darn good. I like them. They communicate well. They have a quick response to any questions, inquiries, or anything that I have. Because of the time difference, it's like overnight, and then I get something the very next morning. And I've already tested two products that are in their lineup, and this is like the big step up. This is their latest and greatest. Now, as I'm filming this today, it is March the 12th. This product's not going to be available until the March 23rd, maybe sooner, but March 23rd is the absolute latest that they're hoping to release it. So they wanted to get this out, and I've checked, and right now at this point on YouTube, I don't see another review on this product that is in American. I don't know how else to say that. Basically in English. This product apparently has been released in other countries, specifically China, for the last maybe year, not even quite a year, and I can see why they're releasing it in the US, because it is a step up from the very first thing that I reviewed. First, I reviewed an S200, which was one of my most favorite portable chargers. That's what I'm talking about today, portable chargers, that they offered because of its form factor. I mean, it's just incredible as far as its size. As far as battery power, it's very good. It'll do a very good job with a lot of needs for a lot of people. However, they did make a smaller in form function as far as height, but fatter little brick, and that was the S370. I've done reviews on both those products. I'll put the links for the products in the description on all these, everything that I'm talking about. However, if you want to watch those videos, I'll put the links up above here. I'll put the S200 in the beginning of this little speech, and then the S370, which again was a step up. Now, there were some things on the S370 though that they were trying to keep the form function kind of small and still pack a decent amount of battery life in it, but it lost out on some features that the S200 had. For example, the S200 had a LCD display, but the bigger S370 didn't have any kind of a LCD display. They just had LED lights to let you know. Now, some people prefer that. Some people don't care what it's putting out or what any of that. They don't care about any of that stuff. All they want to know is, does it have power? Is it charged? And does it need charged? And that's what that S370 kind of focused towards. You know, a little bit more power, and then LED lights to tell you the amount of discharge that was on that device. So basically, I've got some product that came to me, again, sent to me. They didn't pay me. They didn't tell me I had to do a great review. They didn't even tell me how to cover this product. A lot of these products that we review that might get sent to us, you know, there's usually some sort of a form that they want you to follow and at least cover certain topics. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to praise the product. It doesn't mean that you have to say that the product is great and it's really a piece of junk. Nothing like that. And I've had plenty of reviews that I've done in the past that if I don't like it, I won't do a review on it at all. I've talked about that on previous videos. I have numerous battery banks and dash cams that will never see the light of day as far as this channel's concerned and me talking about them. So in this case, the product that they sent me was in a couple of boxes. We'll look at the unboxing here. And it was kind of nice because they overboxed. I didn't think that, you know, I guess it's the way that it goes into Amazon's system that they have to be protected a certain way, but it was overboxed very nicely, the first product, and then the box that is actually like the retail box that you would see at the store, that had a packaging on top of it, you know, some sort of a bag basically. And then of course, you know, the product itself had its own box. And what you're seeing in the unboxing first here is a solar panel, because we want to talk about how we can get energy into these things. And then the second unboxing, pretty straightforward. This was just the power station, and the power station is probably the biggest one that they're offering at this time to the US in, again, it's going to be in a large release in the US. So I think that they're excited about the product, and I can see why, looking it over myself, and we're going to take a look at it right now. All right, so to help with the lighting here, I've got the solar panel box actually blocking our view a little bit, and I moved the camera back just slightly. Form function on this one is definitely bigger than the S370. Of course, the S200, it was kind of a weird shape. And believe it or not, still, that S200 came in a much bigger box than what this is even. And it's kind of funny. Now, this weighs roughly, I can't remember the number. I think it was about 7¼ pounds, somewhere around that. I know it wasn't 8 pounds. And the size on this is almost 10 inches by 6 by 6. So it's like 9.5 by 6 by 6. And if you don't know what this is a SUAOKI or SUAOKI or SUAOKI or SUAOKI. I've heard it pronounced many different ways, but I think it's more SUAOKI. S370, again, this is the big one that they're getting ready to release into the US. So this is the latest and greatest. It's got the MPPT solar charger built into it, so you can't overcharge it, and it has a lot of other features that they're excited to release to us. This is a portable power supply. Some people call these portable generators. I've talked about this in the past, and I want you to, if you can, take the time to look at those previous videos and why you may want one of these. I mean, I'm sitting in an RV that's plugged in. I've got tons of electricity available. Why would somebody need this? Again, previous videos on the S200 and the S370 that I've linked above in the description there, or down in the description, and also in the links up above, or the cards up above. Those will tell you what I've already talked about and why we would utilize something like that. As far as this portable power supply, this is 322 watt hours. This has a 22,400 milliamp hour at 14.4 volts. This is a relatively large size lithium storage capacity battery that's in there. This is a good quality as far as its release and recharge rate. You can get a lot of life cycles out of this thing. Inside the little box is a thank you card with a little QR code if you want to check that out. I'm sure this is going to talk about warranty, and the nice thing is, again, communication, being able to talk with them, very easy to do. And then you have a booklet. It's a user manual. It's very thick, but it is in different languages, so just ignore pretty much the first, looks like page 12? Yeah, page 12. So there's 12 pages of instructions in here. Other languages, of course, supported by that same manual. All right, you get your traditional, but this is a larger than I'm used to, power brick. This will allow for 240 if you have the right adapter. Of course, this is US market, so it's going to give you a US plug to run the charger. You have a USB-C to USB-C cable, which those are getting awful popular. Ever since we started getting our Samsung Note 9 and the S9 Plus, and I think, yeah, our Note 8, I'm pretty sure, had one. And then, of course, my Note 10, they all have that plug. Cigarette lighter charger. This is going to be for the input, so you can charge off a 12-volt power port, which I have in this RV. I have one in the bedroom, believe it or not. They're still installing those. And then our favorite, the MC4 connectors for solar charging. That's what this baby is over here. So that's what comes in the box. That gives you the ability, let's talk about this stuff real quick. If you want to plug it into a power port in the back of your vehicle, inside your RV, inside your vehicle, you can recharge the solar charger, the solar generator, the power pack, the battery bank, whatever you want to call it. You can charge it that way. Or you have your household current right here, normal household current. Then you have the USB-C cable, Yeah, you're thinking, oh, that's so you can charge your phone. I can use, well, yeah, you can. Or you can also charge this using a USB-C charging device. I don't know how many of us have any kind of a device that might be powered by USB-C, but they're talking about like a 60-watt charge. I don't know, this cable seems awful small, but it's not a lot of amps. And like I say, the power brick. So that's what they're going to include. Now, as far as tapping into the power and using the power that's on this device, I can't wait to show you all these ports. There's tons of ports. Got this little built-in handle here, which I guess could be pretty handy. And yeah, the form function is definitely bigger than the S370. Definitely bigger than the S370. Has some rubber feet on the bottom. And again, you're talking about 7 pounds, so I mean, there's some substantial weight there. I don't know, 7 pounds. You're not really carrying around this thing that much, except to get it to whatever you want to hook up for a while. Unless you're charging on solar. I mean, there could be a reason why you have it outside then. This isn't waterproof. Anything electrical, it's got a lot of open components. There rarely is this stuff waterproof. So don't just set this out. You can't have this out in the rain. I mean, you can't set it out in the moisture, nothing like that. Treat it like you would a high-end stereo or something. Even though, our phones and it seems like iPods and stuff, they still make iPods? Those were pretty much waterproof, but yeah. So as far as what this thing looks like, let's go over the three sides that are kind of boring, and then we'll get to the meat and potatoes of stuff. These are all outputs, 12 volt, 10 amp. I talked about that on a previous video. They make, and you can buy, cigarette power port. It's power ported down. I call it a cigarette lighter because I'm old school. But basically, you plug these things in and you can access the power that's available here at a 10 amp rate using that plug. So if you have something that plugs into a power port, like in my truck, I got a ton of stuff that plugs into power ports. Luckily, I have a power port, splitter that has multiple hookups. But if you need it for something like that, like I said, there's accessories that you can buy to plug into this using that power port adapter. As far as somebody had asked me on one of my previous videos, what else could you plug in here? And if you get the right connector, you can plug anything in here that you want. I mean, anything at all. I don't necessarily see any real reason to use that myself. Let's finish up there. Let's go to this side. And you got 2 cooling vents and 2 cooling fans. There are fans inside there, little micro fans. And then, of course, on the other S370, it had a flashlight. They carried that over. So I don't want to blind you guys, but it is a bright flashlight. We have daylight in here, and yet it's still very, very bright. And again, same like the other one, you got an SOS flash, of course a quick warning flash, and then the solid. And then you just hold it until it goes out. Nice feature. I've never really found a need for that myself necessarily, but it's there. Next side, let's flip around. You have 4 USBs. These are 5 volt 2.4 amp, which is a standard USB, but these are quick charge 3.0. Of course, that's why they're colored blue. So again, getting these things fired up and the ability to load up your device, whatever it be, your phone, your tablet, your computer, the quick charge. I mean, you've got that ability for quick charge function. And onto the front. 60 watt PD Type-C in or out. That's what we were just showing that. You have this real nice LCD display. I got a little plastic cover on it. Here's your input. That's for that power brick. You can do it that way. Or you can do your MC4 connectors. You can plug into there and plug into your solar. We'll get to that. Don't worry, we'll get to that in a second. Or you can do the brick, the power brick that just plugs into a household outlet. And then, of course, you have your AC output. These are pure sine wave, so it's very, very clean power. That's why generators, which I've done tons of reviews on generators, that pure clean, that pure sine wave, that clean power output is really critical for all the components inside here. And as far as 3-prong, I mentioned this before, these are not grounded plugs. This just allows you to plug a grounded plug in there. It's usually not a, there's so many safety features on here, there's usually not a problem with that not actually being grounded, because that's a, that's kind of a household current thing. So as far as what the display looks like, it's bright, it's big, it's going to tell you, of course, your battery condition. What I find most interesting about it is the form function really didn't change much. It got slightly bigger and slightly heavier than that S370 that they were offering, but they went ahead and put that LCD display back, and I really missed it from the S200. Alright, so I went ahead and plugged in the charger, and then once the charger is plugged in, what you do is you just hold this button in to go ahead and show that it's going to be AC output. So we have USB output, DC output, and then now we're on AC output. And as far as charging this, you can see, or maybe you can't, we do have a flashing light there, so this is charging. Okay, so I went ahead and plugged it into the wall, and you can see that the input is showing that it's being input. That's what you're getting, and that you've got this flashing battery. Guess what I learned? I learned that that is all this display does, even though I can clearly see that there are numerators in this LCD display. What I mean is the number 8, the number 8. You guys seen that before. Whenever you had, remember when LCD watches came out years and years ago? Anyways, when they're blank, you could still see those 2 8s. Even the old calculators, you could see 2 8s that are looking like they're ready to be lit up. That must be for error codes or overheating codes or something, because I have tried everything that I can as far as the input, and the only thing that it does is show you input, obviously, and that the battery's charging, but it doesn't show you at what rate. It doesn't show you any kind of voltage on the output. Whenever you're hooked up to these outputs, it doesn't show how much is being drained. It just shows the condition of the battery. I'm a little disappointed with that. At least it does show you output whenever that's turned on. Let's go ahead and unplug that. You'll see that everything goes blank. Go ahead and turn the power on, which is just a long hold. There you go. And you can see immediately it says that you're ready to, the output for USB and DC is on. So this is on, and then all these ports are available too. And then if you want your AC power to be activated, you just hold the AC button. That light comes on, and of course now it says your AC power's on also. And it's charging it, and it's showing you some condition of charge. Again, I just wish there were some numbers there. I really enjoyed that on other solar chargers or power packs that I have used in the past. So I wish that was there. Still doesn't make it a bad product at all. It's very, very nice. So far, so good. Let's go ahead and look at these solar panels now. One thing I'll have to say about this form function is that it's easy to carry. Now, if you look at this, if you guys are really shopping for solar panels, you're going to see that this thing is looking awful familiar to some other brands, and it could be that they're sharing some features. However, one of the things that this one has, Velcro. There's no snaps. You just got Velcro, and it's pretty brutal as far as the way that it works. And I want you to be aware that I'm not going to be telling you how much this charges and that. I mean, I can tell you that these are 100 watt panels, and I can tell you what the output is based on this. You can see the type of voltage that's available and output, and I'll show you the junction box that you're using. But as far as actually testing this and that, I'm in Northeast Ohio. This isn't Arizona, so take a look. What kind of sun do you think we have there? Little to none at this point. I'll have to say that these are probably some of the nicest looking panels or cells at first glance that I've seen. They're very nice looking. They're like a matte as far as the finish on them, but boy, they just look quality. I'm surprised. Now I know that there's other reviewers that have talked about products similar to this, and they say how durable these are. As far as the the fact that it being waterproof or anything like that. Not really, and I'll show you why. Here's your charging setup here. Now, of course, before we get into everything, if you want to, straight off of your battery, you can charge direct. What I'm saying is, if I was to open this up and access my 2 batteries, I can put those clamps on there and I can set out the solar panel and I can charge my batteries direct. Just to let you know that this thing is, you know, got USB, you know, the USB-C, you have 12 volt, 18 volt, you have fast charge, 5, 9, 12 volt, and then you have the USB 5 volt 2.4. So you have the fast charge ability and direct connection to the solar panels, but you're going to take a gamble with your equipment's ability to withstand whatever smart charge that is going on here. Basically, it says here that it's equipped with a USB type C and quick charge 3.0 output ports and accessory socket, capable of charging most of your devices, including cell phone, tablet, in-car appliances, and 12 volt to 18 volt storage batteries. Apart from that, its TIRC technology can intelligently identify the required current of connected devices for optimum charging performance. Now, what I have a problem with there is you're depending on this little box here to be smart enough to know when your batteries are fully charged and recognize that it is going to need to cut back. This is not really a full-blown charge controller. This is a lot less than that. I wouldn't necessarily trust that. This is a 100 watt panel. I mean, this isn't a 60 watt. This is a 100 watt panel. So there is some voltage there, and I think that you could risk getting into some overcharge conditions. So I'd be careful of that. What we're going to do is we're going to plug directly into, using this, the input of the battery bank there. But to do that, you have to find out which connector is needed to go on. Yeah, that doesn't fit. See there? It doesn't go on. So you have to find the right connector. The good news is, look at all these connectors they offer. I mean, that's a large selection. I think this will pretty much cover every frickin' battery charger you could come across, including the ones that I've previously owned and still have. So let's go ahead and find the right one. That wasn't hard to do. If you just look down in there, this is the only one that was about the right size, and it says B on it. And if you plug that in, boom, now you have the ability to plug this on. So let's go ahead and connect this and see what it looks like with this unbelievable sunshine that we have going on. Believe it or not, these are efficient enough. There's still going to be some output. Check this out. You wouldn't believe it, huh? How could there be any input whatsoever? Look, I don't even have it opened all the way. So let's go ahead and open it up and drink in this unbelievable sunshine. This thing's charging. Again, I don't have an input rate, which I wish this one had, but it does show that it's charging. There we go. Now you can see it in its full glory. It's got these foldable legs that are back here that just come out and prop it up, basically. Now, of course, in any kind of a wind, these aren't going to be very good, but they are charging. They're definitely doing the job. They're putting out some voltage. I'm surprised. I don't know. I guess I expect whenever we talk about solar that, you know, a 100 watt panel is going to be some kind of a big piece of glass that's framed, you know, aluminum framed. So the fact that this thing is foldable and portable, that makes it really nice. So let's go ahead and get some final thoughts on all this. So what do I think about this particular one? Sure, the price point is still really competitive. Of course, the link will be down below, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, they have some sort of a discount on Amazon right now. It's an instant coupon. Of course, that's probably a pre-order situation. If you click on that, you get quite a bit of money off, considering. I think that overall, this is fine. There's, you know, a lot of them out there. The thing that you want to find is somebody you can trust, somebody that's been doing it for a while, And like I said, I've been doing those reviews on these SUAOKI, or SUAOKI. I've always called it SUAOKI, but somebody tried to correct me the other day, so I've been slowly getting confused on how to say it now. But I've been doing product reviews on these SUAOKI items for a while now, and they're all pretty good quality. They just feel good. Now, I know a lot of people, well, what about the longevity? You know, you should do a 1-year review or a 6-year review or whatever. I've talked about that in the past. I can make this fail. I can make this fail today. I can make this burn up today. I'm not going to. That's what other channels would do, just to get views. But that's not me. I'm a fix-it type guy. I like to make stuff last. And I think that it's unfair to try to do a long-term review unless under normal circumstances of being very cautious and using it exactly the way the instructions, indicate, which are pretty simple. They just basically say plug it in and use it, and when you need to charge it, plug it in and charge it. But there's ways to abuse that. And if it failed under normal conditions, that might be one thing that I'd like to mention. But so far, that's not the case. And I've been using the other ones on and off a few times, and I don't really see any difference. It's kind of like a box fan that you buy at the dollar store. Either it works or it doesn't work. For as many of these products that I've touched on and I have seen and I've heard people talk about, out of the box, dead on arrival, I don't see that. I have not seen that from this company. I'm sure that's out there somewhere. I'm sure somebody has. So basically, that tells me it's okay. This is built okay. It's got a lot of UL listed stuff on it, on the cords and that, which is, that's a underwriter's laboratory. That's, an important thing to have with products that are in the US, for safety reasons. So you don't plug it in the wall and it burns down whatever you have. It's nice. I enjoy having these products to test. I enjoy seeing how they operate. But more importantly, I like the fact that this gives the opportunity for people that may not have an abundance of power available to them, especially in our case or in our situation on our channel with the people that are watching. You have the capability to have power in the middle of nowhere. Now, to give you an idea, again, I've talked about this on previous videos, but I want to reiterate this. This RV and the way we are set up is 4 years in the making. I mean, basically, we started with an RV that needed a lot of work and didn't have much to it. It was a 1992 Terry camper, and it had onboard battery, and it had an onboard charger, and it had a lot of 12-volt components, it had a lot of propane components, and it had a lot of stuff that ran on just AC only. And I'm talking about when it was plugged in. The first time that we went boondocking with it in any kind of inclement weather was something as stupid as Walmart boondocking. When we went on our trip to Tennessee, it was 90 degrees inside the RV, almost 90 degrees inside the RV. And after a long day of travel, we just wanted to sleep for the night. Now, I had at that time just a little fan that was in the ceiling of the bathroom to help draw air throughout the RV, but it wasn't an upgrade fan that I did later. It was the factory little tiny fan. So we opened the windows and it was hot. So I wanted to be able to run some sort of a fan, but I didn't have any 12-volt fans available. I only had plug-in-the-wall type fans. Now, fans are a pretty decent draw on batteries, but you can get efficient ones, and that's what the Max Air fans that we have in this RV are. They're pretty efficient, but they still drain on our battery, that we have on this RV, or 2 batteries. But going back to that old RV, I actually went into Walmart and I bought a portable fan about so big for $10, and I bought some D-size batteries, which was like another $6. I don't know why disposable batteries are so expensive, but I bought some D batteries and I put them in that fan, and it made a world of difference for us to have that little tiny fan blowing on us all night long to get some sleep. I mean, we were so clammy that just the air blowing over us was enough to keep us cool so we could sleep. if we had something just as small as this to run a little box fan, I mean, and I'm talking a portable box fan about so big, that's all we would have needed. So even, you know, as being newbie campers and trying to stay overnight in a hot climate, we ran into a situation where we needed battery power right away. And we really thought we were prepared prior to that. And then at that point, I worked really hard on getting a generator in case we ran into that situation again. I could run the air conditioner. But that's a lot of money to lay out. And there's a lot of people that don't want to do RVing in the same level that we do. They just want to go out on the weekends. Maybe they have an overnight stop at Walmart or a truck stop on to their final destination. Maybe they're staying out somewhere where there is no power and they've got to rely with whatever battery they bring with them. You know, a lot of people are buying these generators, but you know, those generators are noisy. The cheaper you get, the noisier they are. So there's a chance that if you got battery power, you know, it's quiet power, and with a solar panel, it's renewable. So if you're out in the heat, you flop that out in the sun, you plug in this, you've got it charged during the day, and then at night you can plug into it with whatever you want. Again, those outlets here, you can buy that power port, or you could just use this power port and plug in some sort of a box fan. Or some sort of a circulating fan. And that's just one example. Maybe you have a cooler. We've done a review on a cooler that runs off of 12-volt power and plugs into a cigarette power port. There you go. There's a way to power that, you know, that compressor on that refrigerator cooler to keep your stuff going. So I mean, there's a chance that if you're a soccer mom and you want to go ahead and bring you're the snack day, you know, it's your turn to do snacks, orange slices and fruit boxes, drink boxes, then you can plug into, you know, your vehicle as you drive out there with all your snacks. But then whenever it's halftime, go grab your little battery power, and maybe you're real far away from the soccer fields. You don't have to leave it in your vehicle the whole time. You can bring this with you. So when halftime happens, you've had the cooler cooling the entire time. Again, there's a lot of reasons to have something like this. Again, 322 watt hours and 600 watts. That's 600 watts. That's, you know, that's peak, and you can see that it would run it down pretty fast. The other thing is, again, CPAP machines. We always talk about CPAP machines. I would hope that the RV manufacturers, you know, on newer RVs will start, and I think they have started installing CPAP connections that run off the battery. That's pretty smart. But yeah, this is a good product from the standpoint that this is a very good company. I like all the features. Again, I wish the LCD display did more than what it did. Instead of just showing basic functions, it does show a battery level. It does show if it's charging or discharging, and it shows what outputs or inputs are activated and connected, but it doesn't show you any numbers. I really would like to have seen some numbers as far as what was being used, what was being drawn out of it, and what was being inputted into it. But I could see, again, for price reasons, they may not have done that. So the links are down below for this SUAOKI S370 and the SUAOKI 100 watt foldable solar panel. I know I didn't talk about the solar panel as much as I'd like to, and basically it's because there's no sun out there. I would have loved to see what that would do to a battery that may have been discharged, and just using those clamps to use it that way. But it's a very good product just from the quality. Looking at the panels, the cells, everything is very symmetrical. You know, this stuff has been imported into the US for so long now that they've got to be competitive with themselves to stay on top of the pile and keep the brand in business. So again, the links are down below for this. I hope this helped you out with any kind of decision making you might want on this product. Again, at the time of filming right now, the product is not released in the US. The solar panel, I believe, is. Oh yeah, let's talk about the solar panel. These hooks here, these little rings, that's for hanging it on something. If you've got a lot of sun hitting the back of your RV, you can hang it on your ladder. I totally forgot about that. All right, I'm going to stop now. And as always, guys, we hope to see you out there. Bye.